folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you with my co-host, Lucky Stone. Welcome, and thank you for being here tonight.
My pleasure. I enjoy Saturday nights hanging around with you guys.
Absolutely. Zigzagzilla could not make it tonight, everyone. Sorry if you were thinking he was going to be on. He called, something come up, can't make it tonight. But that doesn't mean we're still not going to talk about DMT. DMT, if you haven't heard about it, it is quite the thing. And I got to pull up my notes here. Anyway, DMT. So I've been studying on this all week and then some because I wanted to be up to speed on DMT. So here I got my notes here. Oh, take me a second. But what do you know about DMT? First off, let's go with that before I just start reading all the facts off.
Well, let's see. I went around in circles on it, but I do know human bodies, all mammals produce a small amount of DMT.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural. It's part of us. But again, we only produce a small amount. And plants, some plants make DMT, mushrooms and plants, and it's just kind of, and they're actually not 100% sure how DMT works on the brain, because it'll give you a short bit of hallucinations. For most people, it'll be pleasant. For others, it'll be shocking. But DMT is an interesting natural pharmacological. It is illegal in most places, which is kind of funny because it's natural, but it's illegal. And ayahuasca, the big thing about DMT, it's not just DMT. It's DMT with other plant extracts that'll help get it into the body. But DMT is kind of a fast hit, while ayahuasca will make it last longer. That's what I know.
Oh, okay. So on the ayahuasca thing, thank you, Grandpa Brian, for showing up tonight and being with us. So we got a trio. It's a guys' night out. Can you hear us? Oh, all right. Good deal. Oh, thank you. I don't know if you know anything about the subject we're talking about, but you can chime right in anytime you want. You're more than welcome.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Okay, great. Well, anyway, about the ayahuasca. Now, if you know that ayahuasca is done in a ceremony and it's something that you drink. Now, I do know that DMT, if you drink it, you're going to get no effect from it because it metabolizes so fast. You need a blocker in there. I forget what it is, an AOA or something blocker or some kind of thing. Well, when they make the ayahuasca and you drink it, they put this plant stuff in there, which is the blocker, and therefore you can drink it. Otherwise, you have to make it into a vapor or you have to smoke it, I guess. At least that's the way I've read about too. But that's why ayahuasca works, is because of DMT, really. But anyway, and where did they do ayahuasca mostly? Where did they start doing these things?
That was the natives down in South America and I believe Central America.
Bingo. You are right on top of it. So what do they have in South America? One of your favorite things. And I'm going to put this up and present this in a second. And this is why this is why they can do that in South America. Because of this little tree frog down there. This little tree frog produces DMT and on his, how they're all wet and squishy like. It produces DMT. And it produces other psychotic things too. So if you want to have a psychedelic experience, find yourself a frog and start licking its back.
Well, there are other frogs in the area that you just take just to touch it and you'll die.
Yes, that's
The
true.
arrow frogs, poison arrow frogs. Those, and that's from the same area.
Yes, it is. I know, but down in South America they have a lot of them things. But up in North America we have this little frog, the Colorado bullfrog thing. Well, it's a Colorado toad or buffalo toad they call him, and he also produces psychedelic drugs on his back, and you can go lick him and and or scrape his back off, and you can get some psychedelics off of there, of DMT especially. So how about that? Bet you didn't know all that stuff, did you now? There is also this frog too. Yeah, let me get to them. This little guy. He's another one. The Sonora something or other. Hang on, I gotta get my notes up here. But anyway, I can name these frogs off in a second. Frogs. Where did I put the frogs thing? But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Oh yeah. Oh, yes. Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Okay. Thank you. It says here, certain species of frogs, most notably the Colorado river toad. That was the toad that I put up there.
Yes.
And then there's and various species of Phyllomedusa produce compounds that contain DMT, dimethylene something. I can't remember the name of it. Psychoactive substances. These frogs are also known for their secretion of psychoactive substance through their skin, which has led to their use in indigenous rituals and traditional medicine in some cultures. And then there's that second one I put up there, and that is also known as the Sonoran desert toad. And we're going to move this over here so I can get it over here. But anyway, so you got the Sonoran desert toad, and I'm going to shrink this down so I can get in here. Too many things. The Sonoran desert toad. This is the Sonoran desert toad. But anyway, have you ever seen any of these toads before?
No, I have not.
Yeah, you're in Indiana way, but Lucky, you're a reptile enthusiast, I would put it as.
I do know about the Colorado river toad and the Sonoran desert toad. I do know about them, and I do know people who raise them.
Really? Huh. Do they raise them for their psychotic abilities? So psychoactive, I should say.
It was a long time ago, like 20 years ago, which I think it's a statute of limitations, something like that. So yeah. Over 20 years ago, they were raising these toads, and they were playing with that kind of stuff. But the thing about these toads is you got to get them out of nature, because as you keep them in captivity and feed them regular food, crickets and regular insects, they lose the ability to produce that we'll call it a drug. It's more of a toxin than anything else. It's not for us to get high. It's made to defend the toads.
Yeah.
So you scrape off a little bit of the stuff and you put it on. They were putting it on tobacco. They were also putting it on salt, I think, or something like some. I'm not sure what the powder was, but they were snorting it. They were sniffing it. And they were putting it on fine crystalline, like salt. It wasn't sugar. It was fine crystalline stuff. It wasn't cocaine or anything. But you needed the crystals and the DMT to get together. Yeah. I never tried it because it really messed with them a lot. Because the problem also is that these toads, they don't always produce the same amount of toxin depending on how long they were got. Because they can only stay so long with the natural. They get it in nature, and they don't get it in captivity. In captivity, they just become regular toads. No toxins at all.
Ah, I see. Yeah, because I was reading about how some of these frogs are becoming endangered because so many people have scarfed them up in the wild. because it says here, the trimethylene compound that can induce hallucinogen effects when ingested or smoked is present in the toad's skin glands and can be collected by gently stimulating the toad to excrete its defensive secretions. Defensive, note. And then it is dried to yield psychoactive substance. Then they take this, and then the secretion contain a range, like you said, of bioactive peptides, including substances related to DMT. These secretions often harvest by milking the frogs, a process in which the frog's skin is gently stimulated to produce a defensive secretion, which is then collected and dried. And it keeps saying compounds related to DMT. And I'm like, okay. It says here, purposes are some cultures are not typically consumed for recreation purposes. Additionally, the use and collection of these frog secretions may be subject to legal restrictions in many jurisdictions. So there you go. So, anyway, what do you think of that?
It is interesting.
So neither one. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Neither one of you have ever tried DMT?
No.
It's absolutely amazing.
Really? So wow.
Oh, yeah.
Tried it. Now
a few times.
They say that DMT. Now I'm just going by because I've never used it. They say that DMT is not an addictive drug. Once you use it, you're not addicted to it like cocaine or any of those things. Is that true?
That is correct. The thing about DMT, it only lasts anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I read too. It doesn't last long.
Now,
tell us your effects and how did you experience it? Did you do it recreationally? Did you do it spiritually? Did you, how long did it last for you? And what did you get out of it?
We were doing it recreationally. We were down here at the cabin for my 55th birthday, and a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, guess what I have?" So we were all just sitting around taking turns doing it, and it's a really weird feeling. You close your eyes, and then you can actually feel it start to circulate through your body. I don't know if any of you have ever had an MRI done where they inject a dye into you, and then as it moves through your body temperature rises in that area. It's the same way with the DMT.
Wow.
A lot of what I seen when I did it was geometric shapes were coming through to me. I know there's other people that have actually experienced talking to aliens. I personally didn't have that experience. I do know the next time that I do it, there is a church down in Florida that they actually produce these mushrooms, and they tricked them. Instead of producing psilocybin, they produce DMT.
Oh, wow.
And it's a DMT trip for about 3 to 4 hours, which is really intense. So I'm looking forward to possibly doing that this summer. It should be a really fascinating experience. I mean, every time I did it, it was a fascinating experience because of what I've visually seen.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I am mistaken. The California river toad does still produce some toxin even when captive bred.
Huh.
My friend of mine just texted me. So
okay.
these can still produce, but he says it's hard to gauge because it's like DMT, but it's pain. It's easy just to get DMT in rather than try to harvest it from your frog. He said, it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. I wasn't asking that, but
oh wow. That's just what I read, and I thought, well, what do those people down in the jungles do?
Oh, well, I'm sure that they probably had a whole process to do it.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to some other things that may have DMT in it too. But I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the house right now. Elderberry's in the house. Slightly Slanted Sleuth came to join us tonight, along with Scotty Boy, who guarantees it'll be 8 to 10 minutes, and he can confirm that. Loretta is in the house. Thank you for being here. She has. This is my last. I was pulled into an angelic realm. A bunch of huge-eyed beings. It was my biggest dose. I never had that one before. Big dose. Pa Joe's in the house. Jackie J. Bazaar, thank you for coming. Everybody in here, thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you. Mary wins. Oh, Mary wins. All right. Anyway, back to the show, back to the process here. But anyway, the thing is it does a lot of stuff. And when, I mean, like I said, the shamans figured it out. It can be, let's say, yeah, like it says here, DMT can be produced through chemical synthesis, laboratory settings. Process typically involves starting with the chemical, we ain't going to go into that. It also goes for plant extraction. DMT occurs naturally in various plant species, most notably in certain species of the genus Phyllochlorolia arcadia. I'm sure that's Psychochlorita arcadia. I think that's it. The extraction process involves isolating the DMT containing plant material and extracting the active compound using solvents. The most common method of extraction is known as acid-base extraction. Extraction method, which here's and then it tells about it. But here, so you want to know what that is. And I have pictures. Who doesn't love pictures, right? Okay, we're going to get rid of the frogs, and we're going to get rid of this, and then we're going to go with that. So we got plants, and we got a tree. This is one of the trees. This is the Arcadia. Hang on a second. Got too much stuff here. Lots of stuff on my screen tonight, people. This is important. Okay, so we got this. This is the Arcadia tree. This is actually grows here in the States, mostly in like California, southern states, things like that. Where did I put that? Wrong one. And okay, so what trees? Plant. Well, so anyway, there's different ways. Frogs. Okay, I get the frog one. The Arcadia. Several species of Arcadia tree contain DMT in their bark. The most well-known species is the Arcadia confucia, native to Southeast Asia. Another species, the Arcadia obtusifolia, commonly known as the blunt-leafed wattle or the dead finish, also contains DMT in its bark. So we got that. Then we got the Psychochlorita. I don't know what these are. But anyway, here's a tree. This one here is from Africa, as you can tell. That looks like an African tree, doesn't it? Or Asian tree or something like that. They also get the stuff from the roots of the tree. And here's, as you can tell, see Africa, see the giraffe? You look at the picture and it doesn't look like that tree is very big at all, but once you get a giraffe there, you know that tree is like 200 feet tall, kind of thing going on. Somehow they grind the bark up and make it into a powder. They put it with some kind of chemicals which extract the DMT, and then they dry it, and that's how you do it. We have a native species to the Amazon rainforest, which is this one. Looks like a ferny, leafy thing with big thorns on it. If you have a Psychochlorita, the species of genus whatever contains DMT in the bark, particularly the Viridis, the species native to the Amazon rainforest. That's probably why they're making the ayahuasca there. Is often used in combination with other plants in the something preparation. The ayahuasca preparations. A psychoactive brew used traditionally by indigenous peoples for spiritual and healing purposes. Of course they do. And they also make this here bark of this tree that I can't even say the name of it. Tepi cochuti or whatever it is. Anyway, they make everything from soaps to bark to it's good for everything, heals all your wounds, clears up your face from acne, all kinds of stuff. Oh, it's amazing what that stuff will do, I guess. But I thought I had to bring that up because it was kind of funny. Anyway, so if you want to get your bark, you can grind it up, find the DMT, figure out how to extract it, and you too could have some. But guess what? It's illegal in a lot of states. There you go. Gaza Cabs in the house. Renee Hutchinson, thank you. Regine Hutchinson, thank you. Anyway, so let's see, what else was I going to say? Did you know in the country of Peru, it is not illegal, and that is the country where most of the scientists go to study DMT, believe it or not.
Well, that makes sense.
Huh.
I think
Yeah.
that's where it came from.
Yeah, because a lot of the indigenous people use it down there for their traditions. I suppose they can't go around raiding every village. Oh, you're using some DMT to do that. You're going to jail. That'd be like going down there and say, "Oh, you got cocoa leaves growing in your yard. You can make cocaine out of them. Cut that tree down."
Yeah.
Oh boy. Anyway, experiences. I'm really surprised. I thought you'd had some experience when you were a younger man, doing that kind of stuff. But wow, I'm impressed. Interesting.
I really didn't know about DMT when I was younger.
Really?
I knew about mushrooms, of course, LSD. A lot of people don't know that purple microdot back in the day was actually mescaline.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Nope, didn't know that.
And I didn't know about ayahuasca either, which I'm hoping sometime this summer to get down to Florida to this church and actually do an ayahuasca spiritual journey.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Ayahuasca is just basically DMT mixed with another product so that you can drink it.
Yep.
At least that's from all the stuff that I came up with so far. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know which would be better, to take the ayahuasca and drink it, or to just do the DMT and like sniff it or smoke it.
Well, I haven't drank it yet, so right now I prefer smoking. So,
well, you already smoke. It's just natural, right?
yeah, exactly.
I believe the process without ayahuasca is vomiting afterwards.
Yeah.
It does make you sick because it's too much for your stomach, but because there's so much DMT and everything else, it's still in your system because it's absorbed through the stomach lining. But again, I believe part of the process is because you're going to get it twice. When it goes down, it's absorbed to the lining of the the system, and then as you vomit it up, again you're still absorbing it through your system. So I think that's part of the process. If I remember correctly, I might be misplacing because I never done it myself, but I've heard about it.
I do that with mushrooms. I will keep eating mushrooms until I vomit, because then that's your body saying, okay, you've had enough, and it starts rejecting it. And then that's when you know you're going to get to that level that you want to be at.
Huh. Well, I don't know nothing about that stuff. That's all new to me. But like I said, it looks like Gaza Cav, he did DMT. He says, DMT, what I had, it only lasted 15 minutes, blew my mind in what I saw. I wish what did you see? Oh man, I wish I could send you a link if you want to come on and tell us what you saw.
Yeah, for each person, I'm sure it's different. It's probably the mindset that you have going into when you go to do that. So for each person, it's probably going to be a different experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I imagine. And that's the thing. Everybody has their own experience with everything. I mean, regardless. Let's see. Hang on. So you can only go by that. And like you said, one individual sees space aliens, and the other one sees, what did you see? You've seen geometric shapes. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's all in the person. So there you go.
Yeah, and I've seen those more than one occasion, quite a few times on mushrooms. You close them eyes and you start getting in that trance, and I have seen a lot of geometry. And the thing is, they keep shifting and changing colors. It's pretty intense.
That's one of the only things that I would be willing to try. If I had the chance to do it. What about you, Lucky? Would you be on? What do you think of it?
I'm mostly I gotta know where it's coming from and the people know, because a lot of times the pathways to get it are kind of suspicious. I haven't been in those group of people for a long time, and that's one of the problems is you have to know the source of where you're getting the stuff.
Yes, that is absolutely true. I mean, that'd be the wanky part. You know what I mean?
Because all my life I was always a babysitter, and I saw people, cool, chill out, and then I saw people freaking out. Where one guy we had to tie up because he was just going nuts because he thought I think it was bugs crawling on him.
Oh yeah.
And it was like this, in the rest of them were like, this shouldn't, no, dude, this wasn't supposed to happen, And it was one guy, he just, whatever he took, it just made him feel like, and we had to tie him up. Actually, we used those straps to strap down loads with, orange straps, those thick ones are about an inch. We wrapped them up with that and just tightened them up just so he wouldn't hurt anybody.
Wow.
And, hog tied the guy just till the game, because, it was only about 10 minutes, but he was freaking out. You're safe. We covered a blanket, put a cold towel over his head, and finally he came out of it. And he says, "I'll not do that again.
Gaza, do you have experience? Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, long time no see.
Yeah. So tell us about your experience. DMT.
Wow. Yeah, I did it twice. I had to do it a second time just to see if what I saw was true, and it was, like, it sort of makes you feel a little bit ill in the beginning, but then you get over that and you go straight into your mind's eye. You just go straight into it. Everything just like completely, everything as you can say, the color changes. It becomes more brighter. You see life so differently outside in my garden and everything, because I did it in my garden once and once in my room. And everything just came to life. And then I saw in my mind, it was, how you look into one of those tubes and you can turn it and it spins around, you can like mirrors. Okay, so in those, so that's what I saw. And then they were like diamonds, okay, and they were eyes, and the eyes were all looking at me. And the feeling that I got from them was like overwhelming type of love and interest. So they were interested in I felt they were interested in me while I was there. It's a really weird feeling. And I didn't go up to apparently you're supposed to go up to the eyes and open a door, which I didn't do. And I just looked at the eyes and they were all looking at me. And there was thousands of them. It was almost like all these eyes were just on me. I can't even explain it. It was so weird. But there was no fear, there was no love. It was very content of love that was coming towards me. And then I just started looking around, and everywhere I looked was eyes. It was just weird. It was just eyes. And the colors were different. They're not the same colors as here. They were brighter. They were just like the movie Avatar, the movie. And like at nighttime where everything was glowing, it was like that, but it was during the day. And so like plants were like, you could see through the plants as well when I did it in the garden. So you could see right through the plants. They were there, but not there. And everything was more, more one. You were more one with everything around you. So, So, and then I went into myself and started looking within myself. It felt like it was taking ages, but it was only 15 minutes. And then I started seeing all the bad habits of myself, and smoking weed, or it's not a bad habit, but just something I did all the time. And just the alcohol, there's, it just showed me stuff there where I can make changes. Maybe with my temperament and within myself. So it was showing me stuff that I can improve on. And then when I sort of woke up, you're already awake, but you're not sleeping. It just starts going away slowly. And then you go back to normal reality. And I gave up weed. I don't smoke weed anymore. My alcohol, I just stayed right away from alcohol. My attitude towards life changed. I became more positive, knowing that there were entities around me that were watching me constantly. Mm-hmm. So it woke something up within myself. I feel more pressure in my head. And I also started, I think it's channeling. I start talking. When I start talking to people, I start getting goosebumps throughout my body. It's like an energy now that sort of goes down my spine, and all of a sudden I just get all these goosebumps all over my body. And when I'm speaking to people about spirituality and where they're going, and I get these energies, and it's all after taking this DMT. Something big changed in my life. So I just, it's hard to explain, but it's like a light switch turned on within myself. If anyone has an opportunity to take DMT, mm-hmm. I do highly recommend it. It's just, it's a great experience. Just, yeah.
Great.
They're entities. The only thing I can maybe aliens. Yeah, they're entities that were there looking at me, watching me, and I still get the feeling today. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I can still see the visions, and they just don't go away anymore. They're just constantly there, and I never feel alone. They're just there all the time now. Yeah.
Do you, both of you? This is a question for both of you. When you had this experience, did it open your mind to the fact that maybe, because our mind, how do I want to put this? Our mind creates our reality. It builds our reality around us as we see it. And when you take
you're fading out.
Does it break down the walls of the reality that we have, so that you can see what's maybe possibly really there?
Well, what it actually does is different hallucinogenics activate different parts of the brain that normally would not be activated. And that's why you're able to see these visions and have these visions and experience certain things while doing these hallucinogenics. That they have proven that through electrical impulses when doing these, that it does activate different parts of the brain that weren't normally activated. Yep. And I think that's why they want to start using it microdosing for PSD and stuff, because of how it activates different parts of the brain and helps with depression and anxiety, because it kind of calms your mind down, if you kind of understand what I'm saying.
Yes and no.
What was the question? Because my live cut out and I didn't hear the question.
I know your screen's kind of frozen, but as long as we can hear you, that's okay. The question is oh, there you are. What was the question? Oh, does it? We're living. Our mind creates this reality. It builds the world around us. So if you say you can't, like Lucky, you can see spirits, ghosts, whatever. You're seeing those things because your mind, you know what you're seeing or hearing or whatever. But since we don't, we can't understand it. We're not listening, like you've told me before. But when you take this stuff, does it break down the walls of the reality that we have to maybe the real reality that we're really living in?
I think so. Yeah, it broke something for me, because I see now stuff like before I never dreamed, and I could never ever remember my dreams. Now I remember my dreams every single day. There's not a day that has gone by that I don't dream anymore. So and the dreams are just crazy dreams, and I'm trying to learn how to translate them, and I haven't got to that point of the translating these dreams. Like there was one dream where I was Godzilla, and I was up and I was destroying the planet, and it was just lots of fire coming out of my mouth, and it was quite violent, and I understood that that if I was the Godzilla and everything is breaking down, everything is going away, and it's burning up in fire, because there's going to be a new beginning. And I understood that side of the dream of it, because that's what destruction is a new beginning after the chaos. And I'm getting more emotions, feelings, a knowing. My knowing is just gone through the roof, and yeah, it's just a big change for me.
Wow, making me more and more wanna try it.
So
yeah, it's absolutely. Just it's opened a door for me. Big time. I'm talking to people now, and I start channeling, and it's different to when I'm just talking now. And then, like just previously before these, we got some people over, and I'm sort of hiding in my room. But and I was talking to one of the ladies, and all of a sudden I just started channeling to her, and then my body started getting covered in goosebumps, and I showed her, and everything that I was talking about was all about the spiritual side of things, because she's coming out of the church, and I was just telling her the truths about it and everything, and I was just constantly getting goosebumps, and it felt like this energetic hand was just rubbing down my back, and where I never had that before. So it's been a bit of an eye-opener for me. Yeah. And I'm so much more positive too. My outlook on life has just changed completely. So I'm getting goosebumps now, and it just, like right now, just like someone just went down the back of me on the side of my head over here. And another thing which I'm also getting is like these massive ringing in my ears. Like all of a sudden I'll just get it bang in my ear, or I'll just on this side I'll just go bang. And then I'll say, well, it's a bit loud, and it'll slowly go down, slowly, and then disappear. That's another thing that's happening to me. Or I'll get a tick in my ear, like you know how you get like two metal pipes and you bang it together, but you don't let it twang. You just go bing, like that. So I get that in my ear now as well. So that's something I'm trying to figure out what that is. So I've had massive changes within the past few months. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Mm.
You know, it reminds me of a little bit of what Lucky had told me once before about listening to the spirits there, you know, and something my grandma always said. She was hard of hearing, and she said, if I could just hear that fire, the fire smoke detector would go off all the time. And she'd just sit there, be watching TV, and she says, if I could just hear it one time, I'd know what it sounds like, and then I would be able to hear it.
Yeah, and another thing is it's increased. It's as soon as I go into the sleep mode, just before you fall asleep. So I'm just laying in bed, and all of a sudden I'll start hearing voices, but it's inside my head, and they will start talking to me. Sometimes they come out muffled. They'll be like blah 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 like that, and I'm just like what? And other times it'll be like Gary, and they just call my name, Gary. I'm just like, wow. And it's just like, it's not outside, but it's inside my head. So I got that stage where they're calling my name. I was not long ago where I was driving on the road, and this happened a while ago, and I was driving, and I normally go straight over to the fast lane, and this voice in my head said, Gary, stay where you are, stay calm, and just go. And then I went, okay. So I just stayed on the lane where I was. In the fast lane, this big 4x2 piece of wood comes screaming past, fell off the back of a truck and went straight past. See, I got goosebumps, yeah. So that was just a voice in my head telling me. It wasn't me. It didn't sound like me. And yeah, it was just, and sometimes it's a female voice, and sometimes it's a male voice. And sometimes it's my voice. So I'm still trying to, as soon as I hear the voice, I get excited and I lose it, and it's, and then I can't get it back. Yeah. So I've just got to stay calm and relax and stay in that state, and then I'll be able to get more. And then my card readings have really increased. Like my family, I'm start pulling cards for them, getting some great messages. It's incredible that it's even freaking my family out a little bit. Yeah, especially my daughter. Yeah.
Robert, you're muted. No sound at all. Oh no, it's completely gone. No sound.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Stupid thing. I was working on it before the show, and it just wasn't doing worth a crap. Anyway, Grandpa Brian, you had anything like that, or I mean, have you experienced any of that after effects?
Oh yes, it's helped open me up. I get more messages now than I ever have. I don't know. I know there's some people that believe that, like I do, that the physical body can't travel through portals or stargates, but these hallucinogenics like mushrooms and DMT are actually keys to be able to go through these portals or stargates.
Mm-hmm.
I do know one time down here at the cabin, I was with our late friend Isby was here.
Isby, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I made up a tea, and I know that night I definitely astral traveled for about 3 hours. There was 3 hours of that night that I couldn't physically account for. And I know he was probably experiencing the same thing. I mean, we did over a hero dose, 14 grams between the two of us, which is a lot of mushrooms. And I know it's hard to explain what I seen that night because it was so long and so drawn out that it's kind of hard to explain what really happened for them 2, 3, 4 hours that I can't account for. But I do know I was traveling and that I was not in my body. I was out of my body and the spirit was going and going and going. And I think that's when that night was what really unlocked everything for me, because it was like I traveled out and actually seen everything that I was supposed to see to help unlock what is inside of me. Yeah, I can't hear Robert.
No sound.
Around with this thing. Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Very faint. Yeah, faintly.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, that better?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. It keeps going in and out. Keeps going in and out. Everybody keeps saying, I can't hear you. It sounds like you're in a tunnel. I'm like, ah. Oh, well. Anyway. Yeah, that sounds unbelievable. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to come down there to see. The thing is I think it would work good. Like you said, guys, that you get the, like you do it in your garden, or you have like a ceremony, or you do it like with preparation, so you're focused for it, you know, not just I'm just gonna do it and whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I prepared myself for it. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
The main things is you want to do it in a controlled environment, and you want to be with people that you can trust and that are experienced in those.
I actually did it by myself.
Wow.
So like,
Yeah, I didn't. I felt that I didn't want anyone around me when I experienced this. I felt that I needed to be by myself, and I'm really happy that I did. My son offered to be there with me, and I just felt that I just needed to be by myself. I needed to experience this on my own.
Okay. But still, you did that in a controlled environment, like you said, in your garden or in your house where you felt comfortable.
Yeah, I was in my safe zone. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because your garden is your safe zone. I love it.
Oh, yes.
That's a good place.
Absolutely. It's very spiritual out there. Yeah.
Otherwise, you can turn on like that friend of Lucky's there. That what you strapped him down, put a blanket stuff. Oh my gosh. That's the thing. You got conflicting stories. Now, tell us about what you were telling me earlier before the show about the conflicting stories about the mental health and stuff that you were talking about.
That's about the doctors. Some say that it'll open the people up and heal them from PTSD and heal them from depression and schizophrenia. Supposedly, one's idea is a treatment for schizophrenia, but another doctor is saying that it can cause the opposite in some people, where they'll get the depression. They'll suffer from episodes and just from the after effects, and you get conflicting information. That's the problem. But remember, I'm reading sources. This is a natural thing, and a lot of the people that are against it go for the synthetic drugs, a big business, big pharmacy. So you got to filter everything you get, But my friends from 20 years ago still don't know where they got the stuff, That's one of the problems. One of my friends was harvesting weeds from around the neighborhood, which had some properties, and he was very good at it. And he would never take street drugs. The other ones, they didn't trust him because he didn't know what the hell he was getting. He was experimenting, but he knew more than anyone else. But they were getting street drugs from different sources, and that's when one of the guys, he did it, and no one else took a hit from that stuff because he started going crazy with scratching and everything. So no one else touched it. I don't know what happened after that because it's one of those things where we lost track with each other for a little while because it was that one guy that really traumatized a lot of people.
I think that, but yeah, see, that's the stuff that keeps me from saying, yeah, I want to jump on board with it. But like I said, if I knew the stuff was legit, or if I knew that I was going to be in a controlled environment kind of thing, I would probably be willing to do that. I've never done any kind of drugs, or any of that stuff, so it's kind of scary to me. But I am so impressed that you guys did that and had a great experience. That is just unbelievable. How it's really opened your mind and your perception. It's taken that veil off of whatever's blocking. All of us. I think there's like a block on us.
Gone. Yep.
And it sounds like it's removed that. I mean, that's amazing. I think we all work towards that. But some people have it naturally with no block. Like Lucky, you don't seem like you got this block thing there. But
it's a filter. Honestly, that's why the friends chose me as a babysitter, because I could always see this stuff, and it's one of the things, and I wasn't sure what it would do to me.
Oh,
I consider it like a filter. Like if we know, like bees can see light that we can't see. So a flower to a bee looks totally different. The flower doesn't change, the light doesn't change, but the ability to see. So I think DMT just changes your filters, so you're able to see what you couldn't see before because you have a different filter. That's the best example I got, because sometimes what people were seeing, I was able to see. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can see it too. Or other times they would see stuff and I said, I have no idea what you're seeing, but I'm here for you. And of course, it was 5 to 8 minutes each time. But that's why they chose me as the babysitter, because I'm only going to say 25% of the time, if that, I could see what they were seeing. I could help to explain to the others. And other times, and that's another problem, is that the same 4 people wouldn't see the same thing. Sometimes they'd see aspects of it, but a lot of times they didn't see. They said different things.
Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. So both of you would definitely do it again?
Oh, yes.
You've had your fill?
I would do it again, but I'm in no rush to do it. I like, if the opportunity came along, I would probably do it. But I have no need to do it again. It's like I've got mushrooms, and I collected mushrooms, and they're just in a bag, and I'm just like, I don't really need to have that experience with the mushrooms. So they're just sitting there in a plastic bag, and because I was microdosing as well before I even took the DMT. So I was going to take a big hit of the mushrooms, and so I thought I'll just microdose, and it was quite good. Things were opening up, and then I did the DMT, and then after that, any type of addiction just went away completely. Like, I was addicted to weed. I was taking, I was smoking weed every single day. And because I suffered, I had a traumatic, childhood. So I suffered from PTSD, and I got diagnosed with it. And it's gone. It's completely gone.
Wow.
It's completely gone. So, yeah, that's my life has just turned around so much with the positivity and how I'm feeling towards life now, more than ever before, ever since that, I took those 2 hits. So
wow. That is amazing. That is amazing, because it's what kind of the studies say that it could help with that. But
it does.
I mean, it's almost like it's kind of miraculous, in a way. I mean, because I know people that when they smoke a weed or something, they, like you said, they like to smoke it every day.
Yep,
You know,
that was that
and
person.
boy, if they get off of it, they're all cranky, you know,
Yep.
and it changes their life kind of deal. And to yeah, amazing.
In Australia now, you can be diagnosed, prescribed mushrooms if you suffer from PTSD. So they've just done it this year.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So then, yeah, it's a good step in the right way, right direction.
Yeah. Don't let it turn into Oregon though, where hey, all drug isn't Oregon or Washington? Let all drugs illegal.
It's gone a bit crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Now remember, people, we are not doctors. We don't prescribe anything. We're just here giving our opinions and our stories of whatever. So, you know, do your own thing. That's all we suggest. So there you go. Let's see what else I started. Well, yeah, here Off the Hook says once she started stopped alcohol, my life started to change. Yeah, well, maybe maybe doing some DMT would get you off the alcohol a lot easier too. You never know. I don't know. Let's see here. But anyway, yeah, this is so fascinating because I read so much about this today and yesterday and the day before about all of these things. And I'm sure, Lucky, you studied some on it too because I gave you the heads up last night a little bit about what's going on. Anything you want to add to all of this?
No, I wish it was more open. I wish, because that's the problem with DMT is because although it's been decriminalized, because people want to get it, the path to get it sometimes can be, tainted. And that's our problem. If we could just get it untainted, where we could have a ready source and, just know we can trust it and, decriminalizing it, like marijuana. Marijuana is now legal in a lot of states. And if we could just get the same idea, I mean, I know you can't legalize everything, but we can make it less of a burden so that we can, get better. We don't need heroin and stuff like that legalized, but stuff like DMT and mushrooms and marijuana,
Yeah.
I mean, worst about marijuana, it stinks, although when they put it in food, it's not a big deal. But I have a neighbor who smokes marijuana and their house smells like a skunk. It's just that stink, that marijuana stink. And it's just like, and my wife thought that, I thought a skunk lived under their house. I'm like, no, they've been smoking the marijuana and they dump the joints, when they're done with them all in the same place. And it's just concentrated, all the burned marijuana,
Yeah, I know. I know at a house, I got a friend, you walk in the house and you can just smell it. And he doesn't notice it at all.
Well, they're immune to it because it's like boiling a frog. It's got stinking, but they live in it. They can't ever smell it.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you waddle in the poop, you don't smell the poop anymore after a while.
Mm.
Living on a horse farm, you're like, and you don't even smell the horse.
Nope.
But everyone, how can you live here? I'm like, it's fine, it's nice,
Well, exactly. And then once you're gone, you're off the farm, and then you come home, you could smell it for a second, and you go, and it, smells kind of take you. They're very good memory markers.
That's the thought. Even though horse manure stinks, if I go visit my mother, it's still pleasant. It's a pleasant situation,
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's the farm. I love it. I'm home, everyone. But anyway, wow, we've completed another hour of greatness. Gaza, thank you for popping in. I'm really surprised.
It was good to see you.
And,
I've been extremely busy because I've changed careers. See, that's another thing I've done as well. It's just I'm a disability support worker now, and just loving it, and being so positive and helping people, and I work for 3 companies, and so and they're just keeping me busy because there's not many males in the industry, and so when a male comes along, they grab onto you, and so I've just been offered a men's group to lead, which is
Awesome.
fantastic. Yeah. So, and it's only 1 day a week, and they want me to run it, and then they want me to start up a community garden for them as well, because they all need healing. A lot of the people I deal with they've got brain injuries, they've had strokes or car accidents, and so I'm helping these guys out, and they see a need for getting out in their garden, and having a bunch of guys sit around and talk, and so I'm gonna be doing that with them. I'm a bit nervous, but yeah, I'm loving it, and yeah, I'm still doing my 120 hours placement, and then once I finish that, I'm qualified, so I get my certificate.
Wonderful.
Mm.
Well, I'm glad things have really turned around for you, because the last time you were on, you were busy, things weren't going this way or that.
Yeah.
Oh man, and
That's right.
Yeah. Now you straighten yourself out there, man. Good for you. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, absolutely. And I ended up in hospital. I had a mental breakdown at work, in the warehouse, and this is from that to this where I am ever since I took the DMT. So that's what I mean. The PTSD gone. I don't suffer from that stress anymore. It's completely gone.
Nice. That is so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Amazing. Well, I am so glad you could pop in tonight, because this has been great.
Me too.
Your story, and this has been fascinating information. And Grandpa Brian, your story too is great, and I hope that you can keep sharing with us some of the stuff that you guys are doing, and if you have it again, and what effects there was, and anybody else out there wants to share their story, I'd be really glad to have you on and talk about it. We can break it down and analyze it a little bit, and just see how the after effects are, because it sounds like just doing it twice there is really improved your life and just made differences. Both of you, yeah. Amazing.
I do know the next time that I do mushrooms will be April 8th, because the totality of the eclipse comes right through my state, so we will be doing mushrooms at that point in time when it's coming through. So
that's a big event. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm hoping to really experience something special that day.
I believe something big is going to happen. This is the feeling I'm getting. Something massive is going to be happening.
It's the double cross. It's crossing two of them. It's not just one. It's forming two crosses.
Crosses, yeah.
Right, from the one 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not big in a disaster way, but big in a spiritual way. It's the beginning. I believe that's the beginning of us opening up. Everyone's starting to open up and changing our perception of our life.
Well, change hurts. That's the problem. People. What can be tragedy can turn into benefit, but people, they hold on to the past and it's tragedy. But if they let it go, you can learn and grow and be better. That's the problem. That's what we live in, where people are frightened by losing what they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
People don't like change. They really
they don't.
That's the hardest thing. You got to be open and willing to change. The stuff around you is just stuff, people. You got to be willing to let go. And if you don't want to make the return trip here and do it all over again, you have to let go of your ties to what binds you to this world, because that seems to be the big hold, I think. You got to be able to let go and then not want to come back because of some little thing like, oh, I forgot to do this one thing, I got to come back and try that. Just do it now. Try it now. To get it all out of your system. Get it done.
True.
Anyway, with that, I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We got Oh man, we had a big crowd. Off the Hook, Mary Wins, Elderberry, Pa Joe, the whole 9 yards of you people. Thank you. Steve Bow was here today. Loretta was here. F Kitty made it today. A few others here too. But anyway, I hope I mentioned y'all. Thank you for being here. Hope you learned something. And if you get a chance, well, you be the judge. Try it out if you want. Let me know how it goes. And maybe if I ever do it, I'll be telling you right here what happened to me. I might have to go visit Grandpa Brian. No, he's pretty close. Set me up with a date. I'll make it. That's what we'll do. Anyway, enough said. Thank you all for being here. Remember, everybody, go out and do something nice for your neighbor. People all over are hurting for, jobs, money, food, things like that. Everything's getting expensive. If you don't have nothing to give or help them with, give them your smile and a little wave and say, how you doing there? And have a great day. Means a lot to some people. And with that, remember to be the frequency you want to receive, everybody. Love you all. Peace, everybody.